Good afternoon. It's approximately 20 past 6, uh, Wednesday, the 16th of February. I decided to basically do my best here on sharing the ballistics of volunteer Seamus Bradley. Volunteer Seamus Bradley was 19 years of age and he was shot in Operation Motorman at 20 past 4. He was then taken away and badly beaten up, stripped naked, and then he was shot another 3 times close range. But the ballistics also say that an army belt was put around his neck and possibly hanged before his death. Now, here's all the instructions here. So, really I'm not much of a reader here, so I'll try my best and get it through. The introduction, the background, scene visit, the ballistics firing, testing results, chemical testing, muscle flash, ballistics, and tool marks, and how many shots were fired at soldier struck Seamus Bradley. You can comment on the type, firearm, and ammunition. It's possible whether the shots were fired from one soldier. From a distance, the shots were fired. So, we'll carry on. I'm Jeff Arnold, and it shows these details. He's also an ex-Irish soldier, or British soldier, who actually was in Craigin in the 70s. Well, I'll try and stay here as long, and then people can pause it, because I'm not much a reader here. So if you can pause it there, read what you have to read, and then I'll turn it to the next page. Again, you can pause it and either photograph it or basically read it, giving you enough time to do so. Again, and again. I'm Edward Jeff Arnold, and basically I was with him when he took the measurements from the Craigin chaps. Very gentleman, polite, and yes, he did explain to me that he was in the British Army and they worked on intelligence around Craigin. But that doesn't put him off doing this ballistics. A very honest person and straightforward, and no beating about the bush. He was a man for the job. I took to him right away because he was honest and upfront and told me that he was a British soldier. But being for a British soldier, He told it the way it was, straight, and gave a very good report. Spent a lot of time and basically sharing the truth. And it was actually the ballistics was used by the judge. His ballistics was used by the judge to give a non-lawful killing. So I think Jeff at this time, because I don't think I would have got an unlawful killing if Jeff hadn't done a great report. He explained to me it was terrible what the soldiers had done to my brother and was totally out of order and totally wrong, which basically helped me. As I suffer with dyslexia, I can't really much read, but basically I think if you take a picture or I try and stay on long enough for you to get the full report. There's 91 pages in the report, and it's done very well, and it's laid out very well. The man knew what he was doing and didn't go in around any corners. He basically says it the way it was and spent 6 weeks taking the shots and doing a rerun of how Seamus was killed. And Jeff reckons that when they brought Seamus, they stripped him naked and they badly beat him about the face. And they also reckon that they stripped him naked and then shot him another 3 times on the ground. This is the weapon they used, an SLR, and these are the bullets. So Seamus would have came through a lot of pain on the winds. Again, as you can see, I'm taking my time so that you can either take a picture of it and read the ballistics report page by page. And I'm going to be just an excellent ballistics, and took his time to do his ballistics report. It's a 91 page and very well laid out. Even in the angles that which Seamus was shot, he would have threw them up. The reason why I'm doing it, actually, I film, and hopefully I'll also put it in YouTube, to show the people how Seamus died and how cruel they were. They refused medical aid, and the 5 soldiers refused medical aid to Seamus, so they allowed him to bleed completely as he bled out. Seamus was a 19-year-old volunteer, and he was a member of the Provisional IRA. On that morning, there was at least 40 people there, and at 4:10, the army left the thing at 4 o'clock. But they got into Craigan Heights, walking down at 4:10, and they shot young Higley and his cousin. But then they came down the shop's path. As I say, there was over 30 to 40 people there. So Seamus decided to shout at me and the 2 others, and they told them to get me in, out of the way. So we all jumped into the flats, and I was at the window, and I seen Seamus fall again. It was a terrible experience, and I then spent 47 years to get the inquest, because the British Army claimed that Seamus had a submachine gun, and he ran up a tree and they shot and believed it. But Seamus hadn't got a submachine gun. He was running away, and his back was turned, and he was shot in the thigh. As you can see here, the position where Seamus was running. The soldier, as I shared in my statement, was kneeling down, and on a 45 degrees hit Seamus. And when Seamus fell. And the same soldier basically shot Seamus again. And then they picked Seamus up. At this stage, it's probably roughly about 4:30, and they took him away. Sadly, we didn't see Seamus. And just as he was shot lying down, and they struck him naked and fired another 3 shots into his body. I could only imagine the pain that Seamus had been going through, because the foot was blown off and 2 bullets, because the doctor says 4 or 5 bullets. So the soldier shot once and blew one side of the foot off. Then he shot another and blew the second. As I shared, Jeff done a really great job on his report, and he didn't pull no punches, and he told out straight what he believed would happen as an expert on ballistics. And again, Jeff spent 6 weeks doing the work he done and firing the shots and bringing the evidence to the court. As you can see the bruises in Seamus' neck, Jack says that it's possible that it was an army belt. I listened to the court, the second inquest, and it was the MOD telling the doctors what to say and what not to say, which was disappointed, but had to be done. But I know what happened to Seamus looking at the photographs. It was a non-lawful killing. The verdict showing unlawful killed. A young lad, 19 years of age, taken away, and I believe he was tortured and beat up because they had his photograph and they knew who he was and they knew that he was a member of the IRA. In the second inquest, they says that Seamus was shot at 5 o'clock in the hospital at 6 o'clock. This is totally lies. Seamus was shot exactly at 20 past 4, and that's statements from soldiers saying that they seen Seamus at 4:15, and they fired the shots at 20 past 4. And in the same inquest, they kept away the statements of the hospital. Altagavin Hospital, I got a phone call at 6:15 and told the person was still alive in St. Peter's School. But when the ambulance got there, volunteer Seamus Bradley had been dead. Now it would take roughly about 15 minutes from Altagavin Hospital over to St. Peter's School. But sadly, in the second inquest, these statements were kept out. I have a meeting on the 23rd with Naomi Long, and I will show her these statements, and I will ask her to basically write to the judge and the coroner and my own barrister. Where were they going by leaving out statements totally out of order and totally covering up? Again, I can't thank Jeff enough, basically, for doing this report. And as it says, it's very well laid out and can be understood clearly. I hope I'm doing this right so that you can either take a photograph and print it out, each page, or basically do your best reading it while I'm holding it like this. As I want the world to see how the British Army treat prisoners. And Seamus was only 19 years of age. As I said, it took me 47 years and I haven't given up. And I struggled and I battled to get the inquest. The IUC and the MI5 and the IRA tried to stop me from getting this inquest. I went to Martin McGuinness and I told him that I needed the volunteers to come and give a statement. And then got a phone call and I was threatened that the IRA had not gone away, and this is 2013. So the boy had threatened me. I asked him, there's a big field over there, run you over and tell me that over in this field. Sadly, he was too scared. I went on then from 2013 and I basically wrote to the Attorney General. I made a statement and basically my statement opened up the new inquest. With the help of Seamus Quigley and others, we put A, B and C and D together. This is under Seamus' arm. They lifted it up, and if you look carefully, it's basically burnt. You can actually see the burn mark, bullet going on and back out again. How sick is that? Again, let's say that if you stop and take a picture and then print it out, I believe that you will get a clear shot of the story and a copy of the Jeff Arnold's inquest.
Dad,
What?
here. Where you be at?
Right, so uh, so as I can share here, and as I shared, there's 91 pages. So you can take a photograph of the page and then print it out. And this time too, I took the opportunity to ask the volunteers and the Provisional Array, why did you refuse to give evidence? And the inquest of volunteer Seamus Bradley. He was a volunteer and he gave his life protecting you who was there. It's coming up 50 years now. And I built a memorial in Craigan for Seamus. And I had it fenced over to protect the grounds. I'm very proud of my brother done to protect me and others and give his life. And sadly, these animals shot him and tortured him, battered his face to try and get information out of them. But Seamus was Seamus, and there was no way would Seamus give anybody information. He was a dedicated soldier. Through the years, I've been out looking for Seamus's informer, and you know, I'm still looking for him. I have my ideas and my suspicions. So, I hope you can take a picture and copy this ballistics report, and I hope you can read it slowly. I'm sorry I can't read as my dyslexia, but I am going slow. And I'm coming up 28 minutes now. That's the finish of it. So I hope I done the best of my ability of getting this story out. These are all the maps of Craigan, which was shot as well. And there's more other cases, but basically I've preferred just to get the ballistic report out and tell a story of volunteer Seamus Bradley.